This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, not what you're looking for to start the series for the Houston Astros as they drop the opener in extra innings and doing it with no runs a day after getting themselves to a spot where they got everybody back. And wait a second. Jeremy Pena leaves the game there late. We'll see if we get any kind of update while we're doing this show live, but not a good look to lose Jeremy Pena there late in the game. Carlos Correa going back over to shortstop to fill in for him to finish up that game. Hello and welcome tonight to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I'm your host, Michael Connor. Thank you for joining us here on this show. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. All right, what is it you're walking away from this one talking about more than anything else?
This is what you'll be talking about.
I really thought it was going to be the fact that you got Correa back and you're playing your former third baseman in Bregman, and we'd talk about that. And it looked like the Astros early on probably are going to find their way to a win tonight, and it would be, all the great things. But instead, it reverted back to a lot of the bad offensively. Now, they get some good nights out of some folks. Pena, before he left, was 3 for 5. Sanchez had a couple of knocks to start his Astros career. Obviously, Christian Walker hit the ball over the fence. But outside of that, they scattered 7 hits throughout the night. They did typical Astros stuff, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And they left 7 men on base in this one as they wasted a brilliant outing overall from Hunter Brown in this series opener. Now, everything kind of shifts. I'm not even so necessarily worried about the loss at this point because, again, like I mentioned, if you were not paying attention there at the end of the game for whatever reason, Jeremy Pena out in the 10th inning. Carlos Correa shifts over to shortstop. Ramon Urias makes his Astros debut, plays third base there in the 10th. It's got me worried quite a bit about it. There's also the fact of this game that I think the other storyline of it is that the strike zone was absolutely atrocious behind the plate from Laz Diaz, and it's part of the story tonight, and in part why the Red Sox had an extended inning that allowed them to score a run as well to tie the baseball game. Look, it's part of it. It is what it is until they get the electronic strike zone in there. You're always going to deal with this. But, man, if you're going to be bad, it's fine as long as it's consistent to me. And it was just not consistent at all. One of the other things that I did want to talk about a little bit, too, is that I think that the Astros played a lot of – and it was on both sides. It was not a very clean overall baseball game tonight. There was nothing aesthetically pleasing about tonight's baseball game. Defensively, they did not have their best work. Sanchez out there in left field looked like he was having – the world's worst trouble with that wall and trying to field balls over there near it down the foul line. That was interesting at best, I think is the way to put it. But also, let's talk about that 10th inning there with Yainer Diaz. I don't mind the extra inning rule personally. Why do I need to see a game go run for 15 innings? I know the purist out there, and there's a lot of me that loves the purist side of baseball. But that's one of those things I just never got bugged out about. I think in the regular season, it's a completely fine rule to not wear arms, to speed the game up, do all those things. And then what they do in the postseason where it doesn't exist is the way to go. But you're in a no-win situation when you get into that 10th inning. Obviously the Astros blow their opportunity. Because any big league team if you can't go into an extra inning and score a run with a runner on second with nobody out, well, then you deserve to lose. So the Astros deserve to lose tonight based off of that. But Yainer Diaz, that play, the dribbler, right there in front of the plate, and I don't know what it does. It probably doesn't change the outcome at all. I just wanted to point it out. It was a really bad decision on his part to go to third base there. You take the out at first. And look, you take that out at first because if you take the out at first, what happens then if you strike out the next hitter? Well, then you got 2 outs and a runner on third, and you can get out of that situation. It's very likely. It's more likely than not at that point that you're going to get out of that situation. You know? I wish that had gone differently, and maybe who knows what happens to the outcome of that inning. I don't know. The Astros probably still lose again because if you can't capitalize, it always comes back to that. With this team specifically this season, it has been that you can't expect it to win. You can't expect to win, with the way that they play on the offensive side of things all the time. Sucks. It's just the truth. Hey, let's talk about Correa's first game back. Hunter Brown's outing being wasted, and of course, awkward. There was a little bit of awkward tonight, don't you think? Let's talk about it next here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Before we get back to our discussion on this loss tonight to the Red Sox, let's tell you right now, it's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off of it, you need a little extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. Of course, grape, ginger, lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the Bev card. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. Astros dropped the opener tonight to the Red Sox, 2-1 in 10 innings on a night that was about the return of our prodigal son, Carlos Correa. Sucks. It absolutely sucks. I will say this for Correa tonight in his opportunities at third base. As you expected, defensively, he looked tremendous. His arm is going to play so well at that position. I tell you what, it's going to be absolutely amazing to watch him do that. You had a really good start out of Hunter Brown tonight. You wish you got more offense out. I will say for Correa, a couple of balls that you hit to center field initially off the bat. It's like, oh, please, and just didn't have enough steam behind them. But we haven't been able to talk since it happened. For my perspective on what happened at the deadline, I was pleasantly shocked that they were able to do as much as they did. When they pulled off Ramon Urias the other night, the night before, I was like, well, that doesn't do anything for me because, I thought at that point, I was like, oh, this is their replacement at third base for Isaac Paredes. This isn't wonderful. But full credit to Dana Brown and to the front office and Jim Crane for, really maneuvering the deadline. I like Sanchez a lot. I think he's going to be a good piece for them. I have a little bit of question marks about the defense from everything that I've, heard about some of the stuff. I don't think he's bad by any means, but I think he's probably not the world's greatest defender. I think we saw a little bit of that tonight. Urias is an unbelievable defender. We know that. He's won a Gold Glove in the past. And, I think for this team needing the boost, the morale boost as much as they do, Correa was the absolute perfect. He was to me, and I think I said this somewhere last year because the Twins thing never made sense. Like he was never going to play out that contract there. That team it's a smaller market team. Eventually, they're going to give up on the contract. They're going to move it on. And it just happened that it happened really quickly because, well, they're in a really bad spot financially, and they basically gave him away for nothing and gave $30 million of his contract too. It's unbelievable. I always thought that if you were losing Bregman last year, like, why wouldn't you try to go get Correa and play him at third base? And what do you know? What's happened? Admittedly, this is where I can't take my analyst side of it. My looking at the situation, honestly, I will always admit to Carlos Correa was always my favorite Astro. He will always be my favorite Astro. In part because he was a great guy to deal with in my years being in the clubhouse there when I was on the radio. I always enjoyed talking to him. He was just literally just as nice as you could get and would talk to you about anything. And we watched him grow through all those years. And I think it's really cool to have him back and have him back for multiple years. And hopefully he can finish his career here. Now, look, the Astros need him. It's the nostalgia of it is awesome. They need him to be great at some point. Like, he's got to be better than he was offensively overall for Minnesota this season. I know that the numbers have been trending right back in the right direction and everything. But I'm really excited to have him back. Now, there's the Pena aspect of this. Hopefully he's not playing shortstop for the Astros, Correa, here soon or for an extended period of time, because Pena did leave the game tonight again there in that 10th inning. I still don't see anything as we're doing this show live from Joe Espada in terms of what might have happened. So I guess we'll have to talk about that next time we get together, which will be tomorrow, by the way, when the Astros play the Red Sox once again tomorrow afternoon. I believe it's a 3:10 game tomorrow. Why am I blanking this off the top of my head? Yes, 3:10 tomorrow. We'll be live with you here for the Locked On Astros Postcast. So, but again, I just wanted to get my thoughts in on it. I just think it's really, really awesome to have him back, and the leadership aspect of it, I think, is something that is going to benefit this team a lot and really just kind of push them in the right direction. Hopefully the bat gets going. I know this. He's going to play a tremendous third base, and that's really good. It stinks to lose Isaac Paredes because he was one of the guys that, really helped this team get through it. But it's obviously that the situation was bad, and here you go. Got number one back, baby, and you're paying him. And the deal was amazing. You're not paying him his full contract that he's got left, and you gave up a 26-year-old single-A pitcher. So hopefully some good times to come with CC1. He's no longer CC4. He's CC1 again, which is right. Everything is right in the world having him back. Hope you guys have a better rest of your Friday night. Shake off the loss. We'll talk again tomorrow night after Astros and Red Sox Game 2 of the series. Locked on Astros.